Right off the bat, I would like to put a big spoiler warning in the beginning. If you guys want to watch Infinity War or don't want to hear any spoilers, please don't watch this video. And for the rest of you, hi, my name's Lokibinian, and this is my very first YouTube video I've uploaded. This is one of my first attempts at editing something like this, so if the sound's off, if the editing's slightly wonky, please excuse that. I'm working on improving myself as I go along. I started this for the fun of it, so hopefully everything works out. I was going to originally just make an Infinity War review until I realized I was taking the main portion of time to simply talk about the topic that I'll be talking about in this video. I decided, well, why don't I just make two separate videos, so there will be an Infinity War review coming out eventually. I would like to make it clear I do not hate Infinity War. Quite the contrary, I loved it. It was epic and a ton of fun. I loved the characters and the story and everything, except this one thing. So don't think I'm simply bashing Marvel. No, Infinity War is in my top 3 Marvel movies. So this is simply a video talking about my biggest disappointment in the movie. There's a common misconception that criticism means I didn't enjoy the movie. That's not it at all. You probably read the title. My biggest issue was with Loki and his death. How he was handled was atrocious, and his character was just warped. Before I get into this, let me just explain why Loki is such a big deal in the first place. Loki's been in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for 9 years. Tom Hiddleston was cast as the God of Mischief in 2009, so nearly a decade of work as Loki. His debut was in Thor, which released in 2011. He then burst onto the scene of Avengers in 2012 as the big villain, and became sort of an anti-hero for both Thor the Dark World 2013 and Thor Ragnarok in 2017. Whether you like the guy or not, he has contributed quite a lot and brought a lot to the party. Many regard Loki as one of the best, if not the best villain of the MCU, and what he got in Infinity War was terrible. If you've watched the movie, you know Loki gets killed in the first 5 minutes of Infinity War. That confuses me because Tom Hiddleston was such a big part in promoting the movie, with appearances in South Korea, China, and shows like Jimmy Kimmel Live. Why would Marvel make Mr. Hiddleston promoted so much if he dies in the first 5 minutes? But moving on, he gets killed in the most out-of-character way possible. How? Let me explain. Loki is the God of Mischief. He's known for his magic, his sorcery, his trickery. That was a big part of Thor's arc. He learned that Loki is a mischievous being, and he accepted that. In fact, he learned to trick Loki back. But in this movie, none of Loki's illusions or sorcery were shown. He died after attempting a direct stab to Thanos. No trickery, no deceit, just a simple surprise attack. I suppose you could argue concealing the dagger was his trick. I respectfully disagree. Loki's been shown to think out of the box. He's manipulated the whole of Avengers. He's shown to be able to clone himself and create complex illusions. He's shown to be powerful enough to fake his own death. He's been able to imprison Thor and kill, in quotation marks, Coulson. He's survived wormholes. Heck, he's been able to manipulate, or something, minds at will. So why would this be his attempt at killing Thanos? He knows Thanos is incredibly powerful and dangerous. He's shown to be terrified of him. So why would he risk it all for a simple stab? No magic, no spells, nothing. That was completely out of character and a horrible way to end Loki's arc. A sacrificial death is a very cookie-cutter situation, but done right, it can leave an impact and show the extent of the character's scenario. This didn't. This was worsened by the fact that Thor didn't seem to give a cent. He yelled behind his gag when Loki was murdered, then nothing. He shed tears later in the movie, but that seemed like him mourning for the whole of everything he lost. Asgard, his mother, his father. Loki should have had a bigger impact on Thor, the man he sacrificed himself for, than what they showed. Thor seemed to mourn more for Heimdall than Loki. Geez, he's even mourned more for his hammer. The only time Loki is mentioned by name is with Banner telling Tony Stark about Thanos, that Thanos was the one who sent Loki. The only time Thor mentions Loki, in a joke where he tells the Guardians that his brothers died before but that he thinks he's really dead this time. For such a popular character who's been brought to light by such a talented actor, to be reduced to this is just disappointing. Loki's had a big impact on Marvel. He should have had a death that showed his character. Not a death that was completely out of touch with what he would usually do. And no fault to Mr. Hiddleston. He's brought Loki to life, and his performance as Loki in Infinity War was also great to watch. It's just the disappointing writing that was, well, disappointing. I've seen theories floating around the internet that perhaps Loki will come back, that he promised Thor that the sun would shine on them again, that he had disappeared for a few minutes while Hulk fought Thanos. Tom Hiddleston even said in an interview that everything would be fine, that chaos was never threatening to Loki. If Loki does come back, that would be a good chance for Marvel to give a good closure to Loki, but it'll have to be done right. If he's brought back from death for the third time, I'm not sure how that would be handled, but it is possible. We've seen Marvel handle deaths very well in Infinity War. When Gamora died, and at the end when Peter Parker was clutching Tony Stark, begging, "I don't want to go," those are splendid examples of emotional, impactful deaths. Anyway, those are just my thoughts from Loki on Infinity War. If you agree or disagree, please leave a comment. Aren't civil discussions great? If you'd like to see more from me, please click that subscribe button, leave a like to motivate me, and thank you for watching. I'll see you around.